What's going on? Welcome to Shred Gaming, and in this video we're going to talk about the challenges that are ahead for ProjectL. And real quick, I just wanted to say thank you so much to all the new subscribers. Since the dev update expectations video, I've gotten 36 new subscribers. I'm almost to 100, which is my goal by the end of the week. So let's keep this momentum going. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Let's keep this channel growing. Now let's get after it. So where normally I take a more optimistic approach to ProjectL, League of Legends, and RiotGames, in this video I actually want to take a more analytical approach. So a couple days ago I posted the first episode of the Shredcast where I brought on Temp, where we talked about ProjectL and what it's going to take to succeed in the FGC and as a standalone game. And if you want to see the podcast in its entirety, I will make sure to link it in the description below. And in those conversations, I felt that Temp did a great job iterating the challenges that lie ahead for ProjectL in developing itself as a brand new IP in an already established community, and what it's going to take to succeed in that community, and also as a brand new game for new players. So let's take a look.
I would say I'm optimistic for League in terms of gameplay.
Okay.
I'm not terribly optimistic for it in the scene. And that's mostly goes back to are Strive players going to give up Strive? Are Blaze Blue players going to give up Blaze Blue? I think that's the real problem it has to overcome.
I'm sorry. So you're optimistic it's going to do well, but you're not optimistic it's going to do well in the FGC?
Well, somewhat. So I'm optimistic the game is going to be good. So I'm optimistic that the game will be fun to play. I don't know if it'll be my cup, but I think people are going to pick it up and really enjoy it.
Okay.
Now, like, is Kizzy K going to be like, I'm going to play this instead of Strive? Although he's probably not the best example because he already runs multiple tournament games.
Okay.
But like, is Justice Wong? Oh my gosh, is Justin Wong going to really put more time?
Justice Wong.
I don't hate that name actually. It has a ring to it. Yeah, is he going to prioritize the game? And really, priority is the real battle, in my opinion. Okay. Who is going to play League instead of their favorite fighting game?
Like, is Tweety going to hang up MK and go over to ProjectL?
If MK12 is good, I don't think he will.
Yeah,
that's my prediction. Now, will MK12 be good? Well, maybe. That's tough.
Yeah.
MK11
I'm a little bit more optimistic. I'm a little bit more optimistic about MK12 than I am about MK11 and MKX.
So yeah. I just don't have any reason to believe MK12 is going to be a balanced game. I'm tying it back to League. I think League will be a balanced game, or the attempt will be there. I don't think that will be the case with MK12.
And for people who don't know, with League, they do balance patches every, I think, 2 to 4 weeks.
Dude, FGC's gonna love that.
There's 162 characters. They're constantly patching it every 4 weeks. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's every 4 weeks. So every 4 weeks they have a balance patch, and some of them are bigger than others, but yeah.
I mean, that's good for the content creators. I think if you are creating content for League of Legends, like you have, a new story every multiple times a month because of that, right?
Right.
And not just a news story, but potentially a controversial news story. If they over nerf a character or if they over buff a character. It goes back to the DNF problem. I call the DNF problem just because it's shorter. But it basically means that they need to convince people to leave their games, or they need to build a community from scratch.
This is true. This is very true.
This is a plus and a big plus and a big minus for League of Legends. The big plus is that, the characters are not just like, nouns. They have names, identities, and stories. People have watched Arcane on Netflix. They're going to go in and know who these people are.
Such a big deal, by the way. Like,
it is. Yeah.
It is a huge deal.
People know who Jinx is. That is massive.
Yeah.
Here's where the minus comes in.
Okay.
Remember how I said we had to convince Kizzy to stop playing Strive if we wanted to play the new League game?
Okay.
Well, we had to convince the League player to stop playing League if they want to play the new League fighting game, right? So this problem just got way more complex. Such props to the MK9 community for building a community from scratch. Essentially, we had Check, we had Conquer, but for the most part, we built this city from rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
All we had was the name Mortal Kombat, and we built this awesome NRS scene. Yeah, but we can't use the MK9 model for League because MK9 was based on Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
There wasn't like, if you didn't like MK9, you can't play like the Mortal Kombat single player game that came out the same year. That's not a thing that exists.
Yeah.
Or the game, there isn't like a Shaolin Monk sequel with multiplayer that came out 3 years prior that you could play instead. If you wanted to play Mortal Kombat, you had to play MK9. And that is very much not true with League. So the big selling point
is all sorts of media around it.
Yeah, and I think what makes it even worse is that, like with Smash Brothers, like if you want to play as like Pit from Kid Icarus, like you have to play Smash Brothers. That's just not really the case with League. You can play all these characters in a game that's been around much, much longer. Now they'll look better, which I think is one of the biggest assets, to tell you the truth. I think the graphical fidelity is just massive for League. That is such a game changer. Because it's like, if you care about graphics, you have to play the fighting game almost, because it looks so much better than the original League. Not that League looks bad, although I probably need to look at more footage to have a more solid opinion. But yes, if you really want the experience of being name a League character, any character.
Are you telling me?
Yeah, just name a character you think will be in the fighting game.
I mean, we already have 6, so Darius is one of them.
Okay, Darius, good example. So if you really want to play as Darius, and you really want the experience of like being Darius as like an alter ego you control, then the fighting game is going to be your default, right?
Right.
And I think that's the best selling point. You will not quite get that intimate of experience with the actual League game. So that's a plus. But what happens when someone picks Darius, goes into ranked, loses, and decides that, it was like, you know what? I was good in the original League of Legends. What reason do I have to stay? And that's where the Cannon Brothers are really going to have to work. They're going to be like, all right, so when they get their asses kicked, we need to give them a reason to keep playing this instead of League of Legends.
Yeah.
I think I know the answers. I don't know if I know the solutions. But if I had to say what the answers are for the League community and the FGC, if they want League to blow up and be like this competitive phenomenon, I think they have 2 options. One, build a new player base from scratch, a la MK9, which is very possible, but MK9 didn't have a previous Mortal Kombat game it wasn't competing with itself, so to speak. So they have a challenge ahead of them. That's option 1. If the other option is to sort of farm out the current competitive players and bring them over to League. Now, people can play 2 games, but I don't think people can win in multiple games, right? So I don't know if that's a sustainable strategy. So yeah, with League, I just, those are your 2 options. Build a community from scratch or farm out the current competitive players. And both of those are going to be very challenging. But they don't have to commit to one solution. They can kind of mix it up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you made it. I was good. I was glad that you said I have an answer, but not the solution.
Yeah,
because that's exactly what it is. It's like you're gonna have to deal with League, and there's also Legends of Runeterra, which is their card game. You're gonna have League and Legends of Runeterra players that you're gonna try to convince to play a fighting game, and on top of that, you're also gonna have the FGC, who you have to convince them to leave their fighting game to come over. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. I think Temp made a great point, is that we are going to have to, one, bring people over that are already in the FGC, and I'm not just talking about like Maximilian Dude and Jay Wong. I'm talking about like Punk, Angry Bird, Kizzy K, like a lot of the people that he mentioned. These are professional players that are already established in their games, because what's going to happen, just like DNF Duel, are they going to continue playing the game that they are already established in, or are they going to cross over to this game, or are they going to go and play this game, ProjectL, and are they going to find it boring and just go back to what they know how to play, which is always going to be the safe bet, of course, especially if you're in an established game. But with ProjectL, it faces the challenge of farming new players, which are also going to be from the FGC, but also from League of Legends. So they're going to have to bring 2 different communities into this brand new game, while also trying to establish itself as a brand new IP and bring in completely new players like the 16 to 18 year olds. and of course like the 18 to 25 year olds, you know. But I personally think that ProjectL is going to organically develop its own community, and it's going to bring in brand new players that aren't a part of any scene and kind of establish itself, just like MK9 did. ProjectL, because it's developed by RiotGames, is going to bring in a lot of changes, a lot more money, bigger events, you know, that's inevitable. It's going to bring in a lot of new things. But the biggest thing is I think it's going to bring in a lot of new players. And a lot of those players, I think, are not going to be tied to either community. I think it's going to bring in a lot of brand new characters that maybe want to try out fighters, or maybe they're gamers and watched the show Arcane and they saw that and they're like, oh, cool, Echo looks cool, I want to play Echo, or Jinx looks cool, I want to play Jinx, or Vi looks cool, I want to play Vi. And I'm just throwing this out there. Samira better be in this game. Just saying. Tony, Tom, if you see this, please put Samira in this game. So again, you guys have been great. Thank you so much for helping this channel grow. Let's continue making it grow. I still want to get into the League Partner Program, and I want to build this on YouTube. So again, thank you so much. Please comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And until next time, Shred out.